What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to PlayStation Generation, episode 40. My name's Matt, and I'll be your host for today's events. I'm joined, as always, by the man himself, Mr. Cortland Long. What's up? Good.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
Suppose I got like 80-mile-per-hour winds coming tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
God.
Well, I live near the lake, so like, if it says it's coming, it's coming.
Yeah.
I guess Rice does too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I live in like a wind tunnel, so we also get like ridiculous winds, like to the point where it wakes us up at night sometimes. So if you're getting it,
You live in Tornado Alley.
Tornado Alley. That makes it sound cool. I'm gonna rep that. Tornado Alley. Come to you live from Tornado Alley. This Sunday. As we're also joined by the PlayStation Hokage himself, Mr. Rice.
What up? What's up, everybody?
Rice, you say that you haven't been near your sister and you're not dying?
We are all sick.
Oh, it is a family affair.
Yeah,
Are you okay?
I think I'm on the upswing, but I've had this like annoying cough for a really long time, and I still sound a little bit nasally. But
Is that what the Vaseline was for?
oh, absolutely. But also for other things. Yeah. So yeah, we've been dealing with some sickness and some exhaustion, but you know,
What's been eating at you, buddy?
Thankfully it's not the
Norovirus
it's not
or whatever.
the noro.
Yeah.
I'm not. There's no like coming out of my butt stuff.
I feel like that's my fault. Like literally,
Damn.
I was like, my brother has it and he lives in Durham. You better watch out.
You better watch out. You better.
Yeah, a lot of people have it here.
Yeah, like
it's coming out of both.
Everybody
at
has
you,
it in Durham. Like so many people, their kids have
It's
it.
a whole
like,
thing, man.
Dirty people in Durham.
Yeah, well, dirty Durham.
Dirty Durham. Tornado Alley.
Dude,
Dirty Durham.
You should get a coffee mug saying Dirty Durham.
Done.
Done. Ooh, you better know that guy. You know that guy down in good old Durham. In Dirty Durham. This week's show, folks, we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to be talking about some Assassin's Creed. We're going to be talking about some EA, some Doom, some
Yeah, you're welcome, Rice. I added that bad boy. I saw that agenda. I was like, that is a very non-court agenda. What am I going to talk about here? We need to add some stuff into that.
It's okay. We're gonna talk about it. I honestly meant to put it on and then I forgot. Considering I'm the one that edited the gameplay stuff for
the actual article.
It should have been top of mind, but it wasn't.
It should have been May.
It should have been May. But before we do all that, let's do a little checker in. Let's see how we're all doing. Sickness aside, right? If you've been sick, if things have been not going the way that they should, have you at least been playing some video games?
Yes.
What?
Actually been playing a ton of Witcher 3.
Ooh.
Dove back into that on my PlayStation. I had played it on my Xbox previously, Xbox One, like Xbox One way back. So
that white one that's behind you.
Yeah, that one right there.
Garbage.
It like load times. Anyway, so it's been really, really good. I've actually been streaming it through PlayStation Plus, and I've been streaming a lot of games just to kind of test my experience with it. And man, it's smooth as butter, man. I'm having a great time with the streaming service. So playing a lot of Witcher. So just taking me back to memories of that game as I hype myself up. Man, people are so stupid, right? Like the complaints about the new Witcher and stuff, because literally the first mission of this of Witcher 3 is training Ciri. And it just kind of like goes on and on and on through the game. So anyway.
Dude, the protagonist is not a cis white man, and that made people very
it hurt people's feelings. Is that right?
Yep, people got real upset about the fact that Geralt is not playable. Which Ciri, I mean, Geralt.
Maybe
we saw the
play
ending
with his balls in the game. I don't know. Like,
I would hope not. They have a parental relationship.
So
that's true.
This is The Witcher.
This you anything is on the table.
Anything is on the table, including Geralt's balls. Yeah. All right, well, that's the show for this week, folks. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Court, my dude, what you been playing?
Well,
that was a heavy sigh.
Yeah, well, I got bored
like
of
3 more.
I got bored of Red Dead.
Already?
Oh,
yeah. Oh, actually, it's not already. I looked at my game clock. I put over 20 hours into the game.
Okay.
And I just got to a point where I'm just like, every mission, I'm just like, I felt like I was doing the same thing. And I got a lot further in it than I did before. It was therapeutic at first, riding the horse and taking forever to get somewhere. But then it got to a point where I was like, I was riding the horse. It was taking forever to get somewhere. And so like the missions were really cool. And I really, really think the voice acting is top notch in that game. I think the story that they've written is great. I just felt I had to do a lot to build my character up and like make money and all. And I was just like, there was so many systems that I was just like,
it was a grind.
And I'm trying not to play grindy games. So I'm just like, all right, what am I going to do? So I went back and like, weirdly, oddly enough, today would just going online and playing Call of Duty for no reason. Like I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just
Lob 6.
I'm just going into lobbies and just killing people and like dying a lot because Matt, you played with me.
Sweaty.
Just not caring what I'm doing, but like I've got to finish the campaign of that. I've got like a couple. I'm on that the control level pretty much.
That's good.
It's a very good level. So I think I'm gonna finish that campaign, and then Civ comes out, I think in 2 weeks.
Yeah, like the 9th, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna be all over that. I don't know. It was weird. I was really liking Red Dead, and then I was just playing it this week, and then I'm like, this wasn't it. I didn't even care. I just was like, all right, deleted it off the console. I was like, all right, I move on.
Well, I mean, at least you enjoyed it for the 20 hours that you were playing it. I mean,
20 hours is decent.
Yeah, if that's the spot that you stop, that's the spot that you stop. No, it is what it is.
It's just weird. I'm like Star Wars. I was in it and I loved it and I really enjoyed it. Assassin's Creed they were going to talk about. Like I read those previews and I'm just so excited. Red Dead, I fell off. I just fell off. It's all it happens. It's like Final Fantasy. I really loved that at first and then I fell off.
Yep.
Yeah.
The boss battles just got too good, and you were like, "I'm out."
That's what we'll call it. Too good.
Yep. That's what we're gonna call it. Too good. As for myself, I can continue not talk about what I've been playing, but soon, maybe eyes on the channel sometime in the next little while. We'll.
I know.
Yeah, you know. Do you know? Does he know?
Does he?
Does he know?
I think I know.
Maybe. Don't tell him about the little the Polly Pocket game I'm reviewing. Okay?
Dude, I've also been playing Pokemon, and boys, we get our new set next week, eh?
Yes,
I know, but I'm disappointed because it's this week, isn't it?
It's the 28th.
So in 2 days.
Yeah, but that's
right.
That's next week.
Next week, sure. Yes. My brain is fried. But
trading too.
I know, but all the leaks made it sound like it was going to be Johto, and it's not Johto.
Yeah,
which broke my Johto loving heart.
It's Gen 2, right?
It's not Gen 2.
It's Gen 4.
Yeah, Johto is my favorite Gen 2.
Same, bro.
But
yes, Cyndaquil is my guy.
But
same, bro.
Smart, but they can't.
Shut up,
Hold on. But they can't blow a load right away and give you everything you want.
Yes, they can.
They can. It's Pokemon.
Nintendo, blow that load.
I think giving a Sword and Shield and Pearl, like I think that's pretty smart right now.
Okay.
I think it is.
Okay, interesting.
Okay.
Because one, my daughter's all excited about it because that's one of the first games she played, so she is hyped. Mind you, we went out and we went to a card show today. We bought some Pokemon.
Yeah, you did.
Got some new EV evolutions. She got some Clair. She got a bunch of EV evolutions from the new set. Instead of buying the box for $200, we just bought the cards. But we were going through the app and like we were watching the videos because she's hooked. I only need 2 more cards for the genetic Apex set.
Right.
I only need 2 cards. That's it.
I need 2 for Mythical.
I don't need anything for Mythical.
Yeah, I'm done. Mythical.
You're done, eh?
I'm still like 8 cards away from genetic Apex.
Well, no, I need just for the 150.
Oh, for the 150. No, yeah,
I need metal, and then that's it. I'm not talking about like the
Altarts and everything. No. I just mean like the diamonds.
Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I only need 2. I only need 2 cards.
Nice.
And I know my daughter's got them, so we can do trades.
Sick.
Ooh, yeah. I'm excited for trades. I'm curious to see how that's going to fashion out. But
dude, I got hourglasses. I've got 643
of them.
Dang, boy. Buddy, I'm gonna be opening packs and we can start trading. I'm just gonna
dude, and Rez is my friend now, so
Becca is still playing. I am surprised that
Let's go.
she has really kept on this game. I'm like, she says that her experience, as someone who isn't an avid Pokemon fan, is that the app is pretty satisfying.
It's the dopamine hit.
Yeah, it's the
Dopamine hit every
dopamine hit.
day.
Yes.
And multiple times a day, you know what you're looking for, you know what time, it nails it.
I got it. I didn't get a God pack like somebody on this show.
Yeah,
I got a semi God pack. I got 3 in 1 pack.
Y'all living out here up in the high castles of this old Pokemon Tower, and us in the slums, down here in the trenches where there's no God packs to be found. Must be nice. Must be nice. Branded
that's
as
what
a
I've been
heretic.
Playing. That is really what I've been playing.
Yeah, I've been playing that too. All right, let's mosey on into some news. We got a whole bunch of stuff we're gonna roll through this week, and let's kick things off. I know Court is salivating, wet at the mouth, to talk about some assassins. Yeah, let's start it. Let's kick things off. Let's kick the door down. Coming from us over here, Console Creatures, from Bobby the boy. Assassin's Creed Shadows preview. He has a whole bunch of words here. It's apparently a 9-minute read. He also has a podcast about it on the channel, and a lengthy video preview, which I'll pull that up so y'all can see that. But general reactions online are pretty good. People seem to be liking the combat. People seem to be enjoying the story and what things are looking like. It seems to be a lot. It's not overwhelming praise from what it sounds like. It's still Assassin's Creed. If you don't like modern Assassin's Creed, you might not jive with this. It is what it is. But generally, reactions seem to be pretty positive. Court, as the resident Assassin Queen, tell me about thoughts and feelings. How are you feeling?
I am very see it's different because all the people that I my YouTube people, they're all Assassin's Creed people. So my algorithm's pushing in. They're super excited for this game. Bobby, he pretty much told me he didn't want to stop playing. He thinks it's gonna be my game of the year. This game, he said it was amazing. I will say from the your Raptor, he's the Assassin's Creed master on YouTube. He was saying that Nawe is that's the character. You're not going to use Yasuke as much as you think.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
Well, he was explaining because a lot of the really cool new moves, the crawling on the ground and such, that's all Nawe, and the crawling up the walls, you can't do that with Yasuke. He's got his things, but everything I'm seeing from it, from everybody, the people that have played it, I've talked to a bunch of people that have played the preview, and they all were telling me how amazing the little tidbits of story that they were playing, the characters, how it was, the immersiveness of the world. It was a lot like when we played Mirage, and we were like, wow, you really felt like you were there.
I love that.
I'm getting told the same thing about this. And the thing I really love about Assassin's Creed is it may seem weird, but I love history, and I love being immersed in actual worlds that are based on factual events. That's why I always have a hard time playing these other games that are not really real, can't really have happened.
Sure.
From what I understand, the way they've changed the combat in this, it is phenomenal, especially using the 2 different characters and trying out different combats. You can, say one of the characters is renowned and people are going after it, you can just switch characters.
Right.
Also, when you're picking up gear, it is like the other Assassin's Creeds where there is different gears and gear sets. You can pick up stuff for Yasuke, vice versa, and then you can use them on different characters. I've heard that is a little bit of a pain in the butt because you don't know sometimes what the gear's for. You get it, and you're like, oh, that's really cool, and it's not for your character that's using. Based on the previews, for me, I think I'm using Nawe, and I'm pretty much not going to be using Yasuke. But we'll see. I'm just looking at the way I play Assassin's Creed. I like to be in the shadows and stealth, and Yasuke isn't going to be that way. I see
what you did there.
Yeah, I like that. Right? That was a good dad joke. And everything we're seeing so far, what we're looking at the screen right now, the character animations, it looks really good.
It's beautiful.
Ryan in the chat, currently playing Ghost of Tsushima. Not sure I can run this at least. Fair. I mean, samurai-esque games right back to back, understandable. I think for me, I'm excited about it and I'm curious. Skill Up was the video, was one of my YouTube guys, and he wasn't huge on it, but he's up front he said he's not the biggest modern Assassin's Creed guy. He likes the older stuff. And I've like I liked Valhalla fine until I didn't. I never really connected with Odyssey. I never really connected.
Did you like
with
Mirage?
I did like Mirage because that felt more old school. So
Interesting.
I did like Mirage because of that.
Well, if this may sound terrible, just because I know you watch Skill Up's videos, almost every time he doesn't like a game, I know that I'm gonna like it then.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. And
It's true.
yeah,
I don't know what it is about him, and I've said this to Matt before. I'm not saying he's a bad person or anything. I'm not
No,
saying
no,
any of
no.
that kind of stuff. It's just for some reason, whenever Matt's like, "Oh, Skillet doesn't like this," I'm like, "Oh, I'm probably gonna love this game then." Like,
Right.
it's just
Yeah.
like him and I do not have the same. Your Raptor is
Dude,
my guy. Like, I have a
Skill
lot of the same taste as that guy.
Skill Up is a Last of Us Part 2 hater. So it's like I again, I don't agree with everything that he says, but from what I do
He
agree
is
on
more of
some
a hater than anything about everything. That's his
not
persona. Yeah, that's
not
how
at
he gets
all,
his
dude.
clicks. No,
Not at
no,
all. Not at all.
Okay.
But basically, like what he was saying, similarly to what you were saying, Court, is that like now is the way to go because apparently, like she has the full combat kit, right?
Yes.
The stealth
Sure.
she can throw down. There's a lot more that she can do that Yasuke just doesn't and isn't able to do. He said, you know, his story seems to be interesting, but like actually playing him doesn't feel like you're getting the full Assassin's Creed experience because you're missing out significantly on the stealth. You're missing out on the creeping around. There's a lot that just isn't part of his character kit that now he has that like just makes her feel better to play.
I wish she was the main character. Like, as much as I really like them taking a different branch here and having the two characters, almost like a Grand Theft Auto and all. I really think GTA pioneered it where we could just zoom in and use a different character right away and did it properly. I'm very curious about that, but I kind of just like Assassin's Creed Odyssey when I wish Cassandra was the only choice.
Yeah.
I truly, even though there's still all this stuff going around with this game of saying it's historically inaccurate, and those people are actually inaccurate, and it is historically accurate to the characters, which is still hilariously in itself.
So
and just
funny.
Proves their racism.
Yeah.
I think if they went with a female protagonist, they would have got the whole woke. Like if
they would have got it regardless. Yote is getting it.
Sure.
Did you see the Xbox?
Yeah, the chat.
Oh my
God,
it was
that was
abysmal. Ridiculous. It was
Yeah.
embarrassing. It was just
it was
like
stupid.
The
amount of
I don't want to get mad at those people. It's just you just read that you're just like you just want to get mad at everything. So I think that the reason they did this is to try and get away from that because from what I'm seeing in all the previews and everybody that's played it and reading, and I've read a lot of stuff about it. Yeah, Naue is more fleshed out. And it feels like everything is for her.
Right.
Bryce, where you at on all this?
I am super excited. You know, despite the discourse, like I've been waiting for this one for a really long time. I love what you're saying, Court, about what I loved about Mirage was you felt like you were in the world. You felt like you were immersed in those places, in the culture as well. You know, you had people from there who felt so valid in just like the language, the NPC chatter, like stuff that was that deep, right? And I'm really intrigued to be immersed in this world. And in terms of gameplay mechanics, I do feel like, you know, because there are two different protagonists that provide vastly different play styles, it actually opens up the game for different people. And even within the Assassin's Creed community, you know, you have people who have different favorite games. Playing Yasuke, I would maybe associate with players who liked Valhalla, who had like this kind of like, you know, brute force approach to the gameplay, and then Naue will provide that, you know, the stealth and the cool, maybe even just like the little gadgets that we'll get to use and the smaller weaponry.
Dude, we get to swim in water and like do water takedowns. I can't wait.
It's cool. So like I'm really excited to explore both different play styles and be immersed in this world, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's easily the most excited I've been about Assassin's Creed in a while. Like Mirage, I was genuinely stoked for, like we talked about at length, Court. You know, in the past because of how old school it was. But like an Assassin's Creed in Japan is something we've been asking for forever.
Yeah.
So I am excited to get my hands on it and see how I feel about it once I actually start playing. Because it does look really cool. I really like the way that Naue's parkour looks. Like
she looks great.
It looks very fluid, but also with like some flourish to it and stuff. The way she like hops around and flips and stuff. It looks dope.
Combat too. The way she does her parries.
Slick. Yeah.
Oh.
Looks
like, you know what? I'm gonna say it. It looks like the Power Rangers, and I'm okay with it.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
That is awesome.
It's Ninja Super. It's Power Rangers Ninja Force.
Yes,
like that's what it is. It's Power Rangers Ninja Force.
Done. Give it to me.
Give it to me. Let's roll into our next story. Let's hop into another one because this is coming from VGC, and apparently US PS5 sales are pacing ahead of PS4, while Xbox Series lags behind Xbox One. This is coming from Jordan Midler. PS5 console sales are tracking ahead of the PS4 in the US. That's according to Matt Piscatella, executive director and video game industry analyst at Circana, who has summarized the latest US sales data. In the company's latest monthly sales report, which was published last week, Piscatella noted that PS5 unit sales are now tracking ahead of the PS4s at this same point in the both consoles' life cycles. On the other side, Xbox Series consoles are lagging behind the Xbox One, which itself fell behind the PS4, highlighting the widening gap between the machines. I wanted to bring this up because I find it interesting that, like, we talked about, how this generation last week really does feel kind of meandering. There isn't a lot of first party. We haven't really had the hits that we had in the same point in this console like generation on PS4. But this thing is still selling and tracking ahead of the PS5 is wild, considering the PS4 is one of the best-selling consoles of all time. So I was genuinely surprised. We all knew the PS5 was selling well. There wasn't a question. But, like, still, despite the lack of software, despite the issues that have come up around across this gen, it's still on fire.
It's funny you say that because you know how it's like, okay, what console do your friends play with, and that's what people buy.
Yeah.
My daughter, she's starting to play video games with her friends. Yes,
Okay.
they're a very iPad generation. Like,
Yeah,
oh my god, they're tablet generation. But she just recently this weekend asked me if we could add 2 people to the PSN.
Okay,
and I was like,
awesome.
all
right,
the two young ladies on her hockey team, and I was just like, oh, okay. So then I was talking to the dads. I'm like, oh, like, what made you get a PlayStation? They're like, well, that's what they wanted.
Interesting.
Like, that is already where the kids are leaning. I said this before, and I truly do feel bad because it would have been better if we could have more competition in this space.
Yep.
But I don't see in 5 years how it's not just Nintendo and Sony and we just move on, because unfortunately Xbox is they're just a publisher now. And that's what they are, and they're a service provider. I don't see the point in them making another console because they've just failed miserably 2 times in a row now. That's a lot of money to fail in.
I think they're just going to have to reapproach how they look at these consoles and probably open it up to even third-party developers. Like, I think we're going to see more Xbox branded machines rather than just here is the next Xbox and this is the only place you can play. Because, like, it's just a ton. I was genuinely surprised that this generation of Xbox is lagging behind the Xbox One, which already sold poorly. So for this generation to be even behind that genuinely does surprise me.
It hasn't been sold out on Amazon. Like, anytime we see and I almost want to call it propaganda on social media from the Xbox elitists. They're like, oh, the console's doing so well. And I'm always just like, but it's never sold out. Like, it's always available. You can get it. If you go into Walmart, it is always there. You go into GameStop, it is always there to get. I can't say that about my local Walmart for a PS5. I can't. Like, if there was a separate disk drive for the Xbox, we wouldn't have this thing where we can't get them.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's
that's a fair point.
And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because I said this before. Smart delivery, all the systems and everything about the console was fantastic. I truly feel and I know people that are huge Xbox people are probably going to say I'm wrong, but I know I'm not, because if you look at the sales and you look at what happened with that game, the failure of Halo Infinite killed the console, because the next couple games that came out didn't do well at all, and then everybody was getting hyped again. Starfield came out and it didn't do it.
I think the Halo Infinite was the beginning of the wave.
The downfall.
It was Halo Infinite. It was, what was that vampire game? I can't even remember the name of anymore.
Flood. No.
Do you know what I'm talking about? The one that, like, the one from the studio that did like Dishonored and stuff. What was that game called?
I don't know.
Come on, Rice. The bad vampire game.
The bad vampire game?
No, there was so much hype around it, and it fell flat on its face. No.
The one with it looks like Far Cry with vampires.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Far Cry with vampires, man.
That's literally what it looks like. But
Xbox Arcane. It was Arcane Austin, was it?
Yeah.
that developed it.
Yeah.
Redfall, bro.
Redfall.
There we go. Jesus
Matt,
Christ.
you're not wrong, because they did all these things. Halo Infinite didn't hit, and the people that were hardcore Xbox were like, "No, this is a good game," and I'm like, "Well, no, it's not." And everybody else was saying the same thing. And then
Thank you both.
Redfall was terrible, and Starfield didn't hit for everybody, and it still was a buggy mess. And people were just like, at this point, like, you can't put out a buggy game. And your best game is Forza Horizon and a Gears of War game that came out on the Xbox One. And it's unfortunate. It's their fault. Indiana Jones hits, and it's great, but the install base is so small on the console, it doesn't matter.
But like, it's also just such a, like, looking at Indiana Jones. What do, like, I know December. I can't. I again, it's no shade to the game itself.
No,
but December is still such an odd time to launch a game.
Totally.
Where it's like, if I had more time and I wasn't heading into the holidays, I started Indiana Jones. I was liking what I was playing, and then I just didn't have time to go back because the holidays hit, the New Year's rolled around, and then this season of gaming started, and it's just like, okay, well, now I am gonna have to put it on the back burner, and eventually go back to it. Like, why not drop it mid-January?
Why not just did it to try and sell consoles at Christmas that didn't work?
No, because like, Indiana Jones doesn't have the same.
It does, like, for my generation. I'll tell you this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But you know where they all played it? Everybody I know played it on PC.
But that's the thing. It's our generation and above. But for younger generations, that name doesn't hold any weight.
Don't even start with your generation.
No.
No, the IP. Yeah, the IP doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't hold the same weight that it did.
And it's the PC players. My generation is either you're playing on PlayStation or you play on PC.
Exactly, because they have the money.
And we're the ones with the most disposable income.
Exactly.
So what are we going to buy our kids? We're going to buy our kids a Nintendo Switch, because we're all going to, no matter whatever Nintendo puts out, my generation's like, yeah, we'll buy it. And we'll buy it 3 or 4 times. And then we all know PlayStation, because the PlayStation 1 was like the next big thing from Nintendo. Xbox came out. We were all in university. And we were like, this is really cool. But we all switched to the PlayStation 3 at the end of the Xbox 360 life cycle for Uncharted and everything, because Uncharted was Indiana Jones.
Sure.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, valid.
And everybody I know was like, have you played Indiana Jones? And I'm like, you don't own an Xbox? They're like, oh, I played on PC.
Yeah.
And that, I think, unfortunately, is another reason why the Xbox Series X hasn't sold as well. 2 reasons. One, I don't care what they say. The S was a mistake and they should never brought it out. You're not getting Black Myth Wukong. You're not getting all these games. What's the other game that's coming out? They're not going to get either.
Well, Baldur's Gate, it launched so late on Xbox because of the S.
And there's a new game that's coming out that everybody's excited about, that it pretty much is a console exclusive to PlayStation because they can't put it out on the Xbox. It's another game like Black Myth Wukong that's coming out. They can't put it on the Xbox because they can't. So they made a mistake there. And then this playing anywhere, because you can play it on PC, well, you're just going to play it on PC. It's better.
The problem was that there wasn't enough of a value proposition to stay on the console. Like the PlayStation still carries that weight, but I don't know. Like
Rice, where do you play your Xbox games? Do you play it on PC?
Yeah.
And Matt, you play it on a PC?
I play it on my Steam Deck through Game Pass.
Which is a PC?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's 2 of you right there. Both own an Xbox. You don't even use it.
Yeah, it's
seriously. Think about it.
Groot's
2 of you that really
right
play
now.
video games, and you are the market to play this console, and neither one of you play it.
Yeah. That's a fair point.
Sure. It is absolutely fair.
Rice, let me ask you this before we move off of this. Do you think the PS5 stands a chance at surpassing the PS4 in lifetime sales? The fact that it's tracking ahead now, do you think there's a chance it overtakes it?
I think so, man. Here's the thing, man. I do.
Okay,
I mean, I always, leave room for me being wrong, but I honestly do.
You're never wrong. Don't ever say that.
I'll lean into it because right now, man, nostalgia is a killer of a seller, and like anytime you see something that looks retro or that gives a nod to we're talking right now about our generations, like our experiences,
our PlayStation generations,
see, and that's important to people. And because Xbox as a whole doesn't really care about the box, I mean, the consumers themselves are like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, like their mindset is not there. So let's invest our resources, our money into the stuff where we can get, more or just like better, right? And I think that better and plus that nostalgia is there. So I don't know. I want to see the numbers, and I really do. I'm interested to see, where those sales end up.
Supposedly it's 5-1. Like 5-1
Really?
PlayStation to Xbox.
Wow.
Yeah, but I just mean like PS5 versus PS4. Like, do you think there's a chance that it overtakes the PS4 even? Because I think there's a chance, but that thing sold a lot, and it stayed selling throughout its life cycle because there was continued software to get people to buy in.
So the pandemic, because you couldn't get one.
And the PS4 Pro
exactly
was such a nice like upgrade for people.
Also, for us PS5 Pro people, I think we're about to get our money because all these games are coming out. Supposedly Indiana Jones is PS5 Pro enhanced. Like, how
better be, bro. Why not?
I was also when we talk about the Xbox Direct, I know we're getting into it, but because almost every game is coming to PlayStation, which we called.
Pause. Let's run through it right now, and then we'll
which is hilarious. We are a PlayStation show, and we're covering this because every game they mentioned is coming to the console,
except for one thus far. But
yeah, I'm agreeing with you, Matt. Thus far on.
We had the Xbox Developer Direct hit a few days ago, and man, this was a fantastic presentation. I love that. I think so. I love that the developers were up front. I loved hearing from them. I loved seeing what they were working on. There was gameplay. There was
that Ninja Gaiden thing got a little long in the tooth.
Yeah, but it's Ninja Gaiden. Like,
but people love it though.
Yeah, it's Ninja Gaiden. Bro.
As someone that grew up with the game, I was watching it, and my brother who messaged me, and we both loved that game on the NES. He was like, enough already.
Oh, really?
But I don't know. I think because it's been so long since we've had a proper one, like I don't mind them taking.
But we're not getting a proper one. We're getting We're getting like a Final Fantasy version of it.
It is different.
It is definitely different.
But
anyways, for it though.
Let's run through it. Doom: The Dark Ages. We got confirmations launching May 15th. It's day one across Xbox and PS5. South of Midnight is the only one that is not currently launching on PS5. It's coming April 8th. I'm sure this is going to hit later. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind this is going to come later. Looks fantastic, by the way. I think every one of these games looks awesome. I think the one that I'm least excited about is Doom, and that's just because I don't have I still haven't played the recent ones. But this game looks awesome.
Well, Matt, what they were saying, someone mentioned something about how you can tell if a game is going to come later when it says Game Pass exclusive, and that's what it said in the trailer.
Oh, interesting.
It said at the end, it said Game Pass exclusive.
There you go. So it's gonna come.
Hopefully soon. Eventually it'll come to a
right.
Yeah.
Clair Obscur Expedition 33, easily my most anticipated game this year thus far, is launching April 24th.
I hope it's good for you. Actually, I'm lying. I counterpicked it. I hope it's terrible.
It looks amazing, bro. The more I see about it, the more I don't know why it's not listed here, but it is coming to PlayStation 5 day one, I thought.
It is.
Ninja Gaiden 4 got unveiled, coming to also PS5. We don't have a launch date for this yet. We just know fall 2025. And then Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, a remake of Ninja Gaiden 2, Shadow dropped. I believe it's also on PS5 or
it is, and that game is extremely hard, people.
It is hard as hell.
Super difficult, but very satisfying if you can commit to it.
But that's why I wanted to go back to Ninja Gaiden, the new one that's coming out. Why did they call it 4? Just call it Ninja Gaiden.
It's a Metal Gear Solid 2 situation.
It's just weird. It's not so they're the developers who talked for almost an hour. We now know it's not like the normal game. It's not going to be ridiculously hard. There's going to be difficulty levels. There's going to be different types of combat. It looks more like a Final Fantasy. I'm definitely going to play it as someone that's played all the. I think it's going to play a lot like what was that last game we just played that was not
Stellar Blade.
Not Stellar Blade.
Rise of the Ronin.
Rise of the Ronin.
I think
I like that.
I don't know. I thought this looked very Ninja Gaiden, like especially the Xbox era Ninja Gaiden games. Like when we talk about action games, it's Ninja Gaiden and it's Devil May Cry. I know that's what I'm saying. It's Ninja Gaiden and it's Devil May Cry. I thought this looked very Ninja Gaiden for like the 3D
But Ninja
era.
Gaiden is like the original Souls.
Yes,
I was gonna say that like maybe this is them kind of addressing the fact that there were people that were like, I don't know if I would touch that game because it's way too difficult.
Yeah.
So let's try and get some new players in there, or let's get those people who are saying that to be like, okay, try this game. You'll like it, and then.
But that's what I think they're doing, like Rise of the Ronin, right? Rise of the Ronin, you could play it like a Souls game, and same with Star Wars, Jedi Fallen Order, and all that. You could play it like a Souls game, or you can just play it like a hack and slash. So I think that's what this is. It's like I'm down.
I'm in. I think it looks
I
dope.
love it, man. It looks so good.
I think Doom looks better, but we'll continue.
Oh yeah, that's on my list.
Run through it. Pop off court.
So
we talked about
Doom,
it.
I think they added so much to it. Like you're riding a freaking dragon in this.
Like what? It's crazy.
It looks like, you know what it looks like? It looks like a heavy metal, like
dude.
crazy music video.
Fever
like,
dream. Yeah.
Dude.
That's exactly what I thought, man. Someone should be playing guitar, heavy metal guitar in the background.
How did they not get Metallica to do the soundtrack? Or
that would have been
like what were they thinking? Or like like it felt like
yeah, this is gonna be super fun. This is why this
looks
was on my
really
list.
good, and it's not that platforming garbage from the last one that I didn't like, because that's not Doom, and it was really weird, and I don't know why they put it in the game.
And it just looks so good. Like
this
visually.
looks like what Gears of War should have been.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? Like they're taking it to the next level.
Yeah,
right.
I think this looks. My washer's going off. I think this looks dope. I'm not a Doom person. I tried to get into Doom. Was it 2016? Was the relaunch?
I didn't like that one.
I tried to get into it, and it's just what the gameplay wasn't for me. I tried again with Eternal. Again, the gameplay wasn't for me. This one looks cool. I'm gonna give it another shot. It's not the game's fault. I just don't vibe with this type of game.
Sure.
But friggin' Clair Obscur, bro.
Hold on, before we go, I'm wondering. Like, I feel like we should do like a look. Do you guys think that the player base will be higher on PS5 over Xbox, not including PC?
No doubt.
Yeah,
people will buy it on PlayStation instead of playing it on Xbox Game Pass.
No doubt. Well, because again, all the people who have a PS5 and don't have an Xbox are going to be buying it.
Did you see that Phil Spencer interview? Like their Game Pass subscription is just like the number just burr. It like it's not going up like they thought it
was.
I
thought it stagnated. Yeah,
it's just kind of.
It was a yikes. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that interview was a yikes, and I don't know why the amount of victory laps that I saw on the internet. They're like, "Oh, that Phil's preaching." I'm like, he's tap dancing around a lot here, guys. Like,
yeah.
I also I don't know. I like the guy, and I'm sure he's been caught in difficult places over the last number
100%.
of years, but I just can't trust anything he has to say anymore because, like, he literally is like, it's going to stay exclusive. And then, like, 8 months later, he's like, lol, never mind. And I understand plans change. I understand there's been a lot that's going on, but it just feels like,
dude, I don't even think
I
it was
can't
8
trust
months.
him. And
I
I
think it was
don't,
like a month.
No, it was almost like a calendar year.
Okay, Matt, I'll give it to you. This game does look great, but I hope it's terrible.
Dude, it looks Clair Obscur. Like it, I haven't felt a way about this game since like the unveiling of Persona 5. Like this genuinely looks like it's taking turn-based combat and doing something unique and novel with it. I think the UI looks cool. I think the graphics look beautiful. I think the art design looks awesome.
I hope it's a buggy mess.
Everything about this game and how stoked these developers were about their overworld map.
Yeah, man.
Yes, bro. Like I am locked in.
Dude, like I have never been excited, or at least this excited about seeing button prompts animated on a screen. Even damage numbers. Like I feel so nerdy saying that, but it shows that developers really cared about this game visually. And honestly, like it's drawing me in just on that basis. But like it also just looks really substantial.
It's amazing. I'm not gonna lie. It looks amazing.
The narrative hook for me is so.
Look at the little fat guy swimming. Like
it's one of the most
amazing. Like, he's just flying through the air with his little big butt.
I know. Look at him pop off, little round boy, big round boy. But I think that like the narrative hook is just so interesting. Everything that they're doing with this game, it's like they talked about. They don't want just like this is evil, this is good. Everything's shades of gray. Like there's so many interesting ideas, and it looks gorgeous. I am so stoked for this. I'm so unbelievably excited for this game, and I expected this. Considering it just got announced relatively recently, I was expecting to be waiting a lot longer than April to have my mitts on this.
Or like delays or whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, knock on wood that doesn't happen. But like,
it's very interesting that all these are day and date on Game Pass. Like that means they do.
I mean, they're playing
PlayStation
Game
hasn't
Pass
done
now.
that anymore. They don't do it. Like PS Plus right now is just dropping old games, and it's fantastic. Like it's dropping like classics, because they're finally that top tier is actually worth it. Yeah, you're right, because I've been playing them, but I'm wondering if this is the last hurrah, like the last.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because if you look at the Game Pass games now, like that list that gets brought out now, you're just like, what the heck is this list?
Well, I mean, the Game Pass is going to have to be their plan moving forward. If they're ditching if they're ditching hardware, they have to put everything in.
That loss, you got to eat it somewhere. That's a big loss.
Well, that's what, you know, as more hits. And again, Xbox is poised to have a fantastic back half of the generation because of how much software is here.
Yeah.
So they can do it. Speaking of software, let's mosey on to our next story, because what a ride it's been for Horizon fans this last week. This is going to be Game Rant coming from Viraj Butnagar. There's still hope for the Horizon MMO. Contrary to prior reporting, the Horizon MMO may not have been canceled after all. So for folks who've missed it, there was a bunch of projects axed at South Korean studio NCSoft, which was who was supposed to be working on the Horizon MMO. Not to be confused with the Horizon multiplayer game. There's two different games.
Same NCSoft for Tony Hawk?
I don't know. Did they make Tony Hawk?
I'll look it up.
That was Neversoft.
Sorry. Okay, it's different.
Neversoft.
Yeah.
Horizon MMO is in development, but there's also a Horizon multiplayer game that's supposed to be more like Monster Hunter. So there's two different multiplayer Horizon projects evidently in the works. There was word going around that the Horizon MMO was canceled. You know, part of the live service, bloodbath that is now happening. Evidently, this is still happening. So NCSoft is behind MMORPGs like Guild Wars 2, Blade and Soul, and Genesis. And it has apparently been in development since late 2022. It's evidently still happening, even though the other stuff. There's no confirmation either way as of now. But again, if they're not saying that it is canceled, because somebody did confirm that the others were axed, this I guess is still alive. Which brings me to my question: a Horizon Monster Hunter game has me interested much more than a Horizon MMO. And if a Horizon MMO is not basically Horizon Monster Hunter, what is a Horizon MMO?
I agree with Matt, and I'm not a Monster Hunter guy, but I think for it to be successful, it needs to be a Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
which is what the multiplayer game is apparently going to be. So then, what is the MMO?
Yeah, it just feels like they're spreading too thin here.
I feel like they're putting way too much into Horizon. I like the franchise. I think Aloy is great. I think they have put all their chips in this basket for I don't know what reason.
Whatever reason.
It doesn't make sense to me. You have Spider-Man. Like, that's a better one to put all your chips in.
Yeah, you're experiencing burnout from the franchise.
Yeah. And so do you think that this is going to be? I mean, Guild Wars 2 is an action, RPG, is an action MMO. So like they have the pedigree to do it. Jaden in the chat, they're milking the shit out of this franchise. I don't disagree. I feel like they're being served Horizon constantly when like the game has only had 2 proper mainline titles
that have been brought out both times against a Zelda game.
And they brought out both multiple times.
Yes.
So like,
and then Lego being like kind of mid.
Lego, the VR game, which is fantastic, but again, nobody played it.
Right.
I am a Lego video game fan. My daughter liked that game. I did. I was like, meh.
I didn't care for it. Yeah. So like that's what I mean. Like, do we think that there's a possibility that this does go more classic MMO in terms of like Final Fantasy 14 or WoW like combat rather than action combat to differentiate the two? You know what I mean? Like, it's like what does this look like if it's not that?
Right. I just wonder what the objective is. Like, what are we trying to cater to different play styles and release the game
PC
in
players.
Horizon theme?
They're trying to cater to PC players.
Interesting. Okay.
But could the Horizon MMO, because I can't remember, there was like screenshot stuff that leaked of a Horizon. I can't remember if it was the MMO or the multiplayer project.
Multiplayer. It looked like a cartoon.
It looked very cartoony. Could this be aimed at like younger kids? You know what I mean? Is an MMO?
The multiplayer was the cartoony. It looked like Fortnite.
The multiplayer one, not the MMO.
Yeah, the multiplayer looked like Fortnite.
So then, is this like again aimed more at Asia? Is this meant to be more of like a phone experience? I just don't.
Right? Is it a mobile experience?
Because like for me, I'm the 3 of us here are Sony ponies. We love this console. We play everything that Sony puts out on here, pretty much.
Yeah.
If I'm as a consumer looking at 2 Horizon live service titles that are running at the same time, and I'm going to invest or at least try both, but end up being in on one, it's gonna be the Monster Hunter
100%.
one. I would assume.
Yeah, man.
I wouldn't even, Matt. It's not even an assumption, because if the Monster Hunter one, all 3 of us are gonna play it with each other. We're gonna laugh. We're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
The MMO, you're gonna be like, oh man, this is so grindy. I'm out.
Right.
That's a great point.
It's task based. You're doing challenges and all of these other things. So yeah, I don't know, man. It just feels like too much.
Rice is gonna love this game, and he's gonna be.
And the thing is, at least with the Horizon multiplayer game, you can tell a story in the same universe. You know what I mean? Like you can be Aloy and all the rest of the characters going out and fighting these monsters. And MMO, you can't have like world-ending threats unless it's like alt universe Horizon. It's not even taking place in the same continuity at that point anymore. You know what I mean?
Could it be at the beginning? Like the only thing I can think of is it's at the very beginning of the machine uprising.
That would be cool. There's at least an idea.
Yeah.
It's the only I think it's truly the only idea they can do, because you've already created this world.
Right.
And you've given a history, so you can just tell that history. But I also still don't think PlayStation put all this live service basket, and now this is their MMO, and I'm like, yeah, dude, this game needed to come out 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It's too late, man.
But even if it came out 5 years ago, there would have only been one Horizon game.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. You would have to collaborate.
I think it's the wrong franchise to even do this with.
I agree. Sure. I don't disagree. So like, I don't know. And there's this question: is it going to be free to play? Is it going to have a subscription service? Is it going to have?
It has to be free to play, or they're going to be in a lot.
So many questions. There's so many questions about what this is going to look like, and like,
especially if it had been hate their launcher.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, Matt. I apologize.
No, you're good. I don't know. Like if this had gone the way of the dodo, would I have been upset? Not really.
I was already over it. I didn't even care.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna play. Okay, I'm gonna say right now. I'll play the Monster Hunter one for a bit, and I'm gonna fall off, and I'll try this because I have to, and I'm never gonna play it again.
I would be happy to eat my words here. I would be stoked, genuinely stoked for this to come out.
Yeah,
people really
totally.
like it. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Let's roll through.
Can I ask a question to you, Matt?
Ask me a question, Court.
I don't think Horizon was the correct franchise. I think they're milked the living crap out of this, and they've just gone too far. Sure. What PlayStation franchise would be the better MOBA for you two? Tell me.
MOBA or MMO?
MMO, sorry.
MMO.
Okay. There's an easy answer here, and that's Infamous. City of Heroes was successful and stuck around for a long time. I don't even know if it's still running. DC Universe Online, the Marvel one. There have been superhero MMOs that have worked and have worked for a long time. Yes. If you had done this, and I don't think I don't think Marvel's the right place for this. Infamous, you could have built your own hero. You could have played missions with people and then decided, are you making the good choice or the bad choice? There's so much that you could have done with an Infamous MMO that would have been interesting. And you could
did that purposely. You talked about my game.
But I'm telling you, I think if
you're right.
To capitalize on all of the superhero stuff going on and the things, the MCU, despite what people say, is still going strong. The DCU is on the eve of its resurgence. Like with Superman coming out, superheroes have not gone anywhere.
No,
I don't know how you look at Horizon and you look at Infamous and you say Horizon's the way to go. We're basing this as off of a game probably at that point. Like Infamous would have been. Give me a superhero MMO, because I was too young for City of Heroes when it hit. I was too young for DC, and DC is not my property for me to invest heavily in. If you had given me an Infamous MMO as an adult with disposable income and time to spend on something like this, an Infamous MMO, I would have been locked in.
Yeah.
Rice, is there a different one? Is there something that I'm missing?
No. I mean, that you said it. That IP makes sense to me, man. Like, yeah, Infamous was so good, and I would invest in that hard.
Like, let's be honest, Second Son was bad, but
I liked Second Son.
I like all of them, man.
Yeah, same.
First Light was really good.
They both were. I
liked Delsin. Better than Delsin.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree, but I liked Delsin, and like especially if you set this in a post-Cole world, everything happened to happen. You're still in canon. There's still so much you could have done with an Infamous MMO. That is just left on the cutting room. Why? Why would you? You're throwing so much fucking money at Spider-Man villain movies. If you had taken half of that and invested it in an Infamous MMO, you would have made your return much more.
You could have done a Spider-Verse MMO.
Spider-Verse MMO, yeah, dude.
Jesus. It's still to this day, all those leaked videos that we saw that.
I know, it was cool.
It looked freaking amazing. Did it
It
not?
did look really cool. It did look really cool. I think they were shell shocked after the Avengers. I think that's what happened there. But let's roll through a couple last stories to close out the show for this week. And I wanted to bring this up because I think it's cool. I always like seeing a bit of crossover here. You know what? I'm going to save that story for last. We're going to go to this one next because we're talking about Spider-Man anyway. And it's in the world of Insomniac. Insomniac Games founder and president Ted Price is retiring. This is coming from Tom Ivan. Ted Price will leave the games industry in March, over 30 years after founding Insomniac. Having founded the Spider-Man and Ratchet & Clank studio in February 1994, Price will leave the games industry in March. Following his departure, Insomniac veterans Chad Dezern, Ryan Schneider, and Jen Huang will serve as co-studio heads. Price said in a statement published on Insomniac's parent company Sony's website, "I actually made the decision last year. For me, after over 30 years of leading Insomniac, I felt it was simply time to step aside and let others pave the way for our team." Just wanted to give Ted a shout out. Like, again, Insomniac, one of the greatest studios ever, period. Probably the shining jewel of the PS5, especially. Like, so many. Yeah, I mean, they haven't missed in a long time. I know people have issues with Spider-Man 2. Still a better game than most of the games ever.
Dude.
You know, it wouldn't have been what it was without Ted. So just, shout out to him. Thank you for it's just Insomniac rules, dude. And especially hearing for a lot of the studios about hearing a lot of the news and stories about even studio culture where they they don't crunch, right? Like they take care of each other. There's so many positive stories about even just being a developer at that studio. I mean, that's top level down, right? Shout out Ted Price and all the best to the three that are coming in as co-studio heads. Also, an interesting way to lead a business, having three folks. But I mean, I don't doubt that he's left it in.
It makes me feel old. So he's been around for 30 years. I'm like, oh my god, I've been around the whole time, and it's they're all starting to leave now. They're all starting to retire. All these guys that I remember reading Electronic Gaming Monthly about.
Yeah,
and they were young. And now they're all retiring.
Yeah,
one by one.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I was 2 when Insomniac was started. So
we old, man. That was Matt slipping in there, and it's yeah, but I'm not as old as you.
Dude, I already dropped it when he hasn't watched Indiana Jones.
Yeah, or Back to the Future.
Oh, that's still. Dude, you're supposed to do that over Christmas.
I didn't.
I know. You didn't forget.
You didn't remind me. I swear to God, I forgot. Genuinely,
and basically Marty too.
Dude, he'll watch.
What happened to Marty 1?
Hold on.
No, I'm saying you are Marty as well.
But think about this, Rice. He'll watch Back to the Future, and then that'll be his persona for the next couple days.
I know. Yeah,
that's what's gonna happen.
You said the word persona. Now there's a 1% higher likelihood of me actually doing this.
Run for it, Marty.
Let's round things out with one last story. Here we go. Reggie Fils-Aimé says that Astrobot, quote, quote, almost outdid Nintendo at its own game. This is coming from Tom Ivan over at VGC. The head of America's former boss has praised Sony's award-winning platformer Astrobot. Sony and Team Asobi's PS5 platform was nominated for 4 awards at the 2025 New York Game Awards, which was hosted by the former Nintendo of America president and COO Fils-Aimé. It ended up winning Game of the Year. It won Best Kids Game, and it also won Best Music in a Game prize. So I have to admit it, Astrobot almost outdid Nintendo at its own game, Fils-Aimé said, drawing laughter from some of the audience. Hell yeah. I mean, we all knew it.
Absolutely.
Game's amazing. Still playing to this day.
Yeah, exactly. Still playing it, by the way.
If Sony had, and I'm not including the Portal because the Portal is just a screen that you can play stuff on the cloud on. If they had a native where you could it would be a system seller. The amount of people, because that is the perfect game to play if you were on a train or it's so perfect. It's beyond perfect.
It's just nice to see Fils-Aimé, who obviously led Nintendo for quite a long time, acknowledging that Astrobot almost ate Nintendo's lunch.
Yeah, man.
It's nice to see. Just nice to see because we all knew
I think it did. If that released on Nintendo, we wouldn't blink an eye. We would think it's a Nintendo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Totally.
If you swapped that game out with Mario, you know what I mean?
I still right now want Sony to go over to Nintendo and be like, "What's the deal here? We'll put this on your console. Give us something." Like,
you know what
give us
I
one
want?
of your games on ours, and we'll put Astrobot on. Like, I truly think we're gonna get into a two console world because Nintendo does their own thing. They're about to do a Wii U. I'm saying it now. Like the Switch 2 is it's just the same thing. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like the Wii to the Wii U, but it's Nintendo. As long as
It's
they
gonna
bring out
work.
a Mario game with it, we're gonna be okay.
Mhm.
But go like figure out a game because you're not gonna get Mario. But maybe like Metroid, be like, hey, let's put Metroid on because Metroid's a franchise where we all think it's amazing, but if you actually look at the sales, it's not great. They're really not great.
Yes.
So maybe Nintendo's like, you know what? We'll put Metroid on the PlayStation, and you put Astrobot on our Switch.
I have a different ask.
Okay.
I have a different ask.
Okay.
We got Switch 2 coming. A new generation is afoot, which means hopefully a new Smash is around the corner. Put Astrobot in Smash. Put Astrobot in Smash.
Matt,
Put Astrobot in Smash.
Matt, that is a
would be
great idea.
smart.
If they put a Sony game on the Switch, right?
That would be amazing.
I mean, yeah, Lego Horizon
That
on
would
a Switch,
piss off Xbox people bad.
put Astrobot. I swear to God, I will see red. I'll have to leave this podcast for a month if when the next the next Smash Bros comes along and fucking Aloy ends up in it and Astro does it. I will lose my goddamn mind. I will lose my goddamn mind if there's a guest character from PlayStation and it's Aloy and it's not Astrobot.
Can someone clip this right now
I will
so that
lose
we will
my
have this
mind. I will lose my mind.
That was the most perfect
Yes.
crossover that you could even think of.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
The combat kit makes sense. You have so
Everything,
many different powers.
100%. The boxing gloves, the monkey gloves,
boxing gloves, like the shoot up, the
big
dog
guy.
Backpack rocket. Yeah.
Oh my god.
His ultimate smash becoming the giant like water soaker.
Yes. Oh my god.
And if you have like Yoshi with the fireballs, you could like make him shrink right away. Oh my goodness.
It writes itself.
It does.
One question this week coming from Max R Power over on the Discord. Is a towel clothes?
Is it what? Sorry?
Is a towel clothes?
No.
Is a towel clothing?
Yes.
Sorry, you know what? Oh, man.
Yes.
Towel clothes?
Yes, it is.
Okay. At one point
in the world, it was
in our civilization. Yes, it was.
Hey, you know what? This is gonna sound I don't want to sound terrible, but in some third world countries, it still is.
I said that and I was just like, shit. My privilege is showing.
Yeah.
But absolutely, that's still clothing.
I came into this ready to argue that it wasn't, and I think you both convinced me that it is.
Yeah,
it still is. Like it actually is.
Absolutely, it's not called that.
It's called a terry cloth clothing.
Yeah,
I think that's what they call it.
It's clothing. It's clothing.
It is.
Yep. Yeah. Somewhere out there, someone's.
I have a better question: 2-ply or 3-ply?
3.
Because 1-ply doesn't like that's oh my goodness gracious.
Well, what are we, a department store?
Yeah. What are we?
What is a school? A school's not even 1-ply. It's like half a ply. It's like razor blades.
And they come apart.
Yeah,
it's like,
dude.
yeah.
It's like actual paper.
It's actual paper would be better.
So hold on, Matt.
Facts.
So I'm a 3-ply. 3-ply. What do you got in your house?
3-ply, bro. What do you mean?
All right.
I used to be 2-ply. I used to be a cheap ass.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I don't think you were because we didn't know any better. We
didn't know any better.
And my buddy had 3-ply. I could never go back. And even my wife, we were there, and I said to her, I was like, "Oh, I was in the bathroom." And I'm like, she's like, "Oh, you did that?" I'm like, "Oh, don't worry, I used the air freshener." But I'm like, "Can you go pee?" And she's like, "What? What do you mean?" I'm like, "Go use their toilet paper." And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "They have 3-ply. Go use it. It's like the softest little cloud."
Absolutely, man.
She came back. She's like, "We're buying this right away." I'm like, "No."
But you know what even beats 3-ply? And this was a later in my life. I became a believer. Bidet over everything.
Oh, I have a bidet.
Bidet over everything. A warm seat with warm water and a little bit of fan action underneath.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys know when you like you watch on YouTube and all that, and they're like, "Oh, you have that Japanese toilet," and everybody's like, "That's the craziest thing ever." So my toilet has a remote. So because of my wife, who now has an accessibility, She has accessibility that she needs.
Yes.
Every toilet in my house has a bidet on it. Not only do they have a bidet, they have a seat warmer.
What?
And I'll tell you this right now. So the next time you guys come over, you'll sit on the toilet, and at first you're like, I don't know, and then you can't go back, because then once you sit on another toilet that's not
it's
warm,
just gonna be mad cold.
So Matt, who's been to Asia, has probably sat on these magic toilets.
Dude, one of my favorite things about going to the mall was going to the bathroom.
Right.
The mall, the department store in Busan, Shinsegae. You like that Shinsegae. The bathroom, immaculate. One of the best bathrooms I've ever set foot in.
I'm telling you right now, guys. Mine has an air dryer on it.
Yep.
So like you sit
air
down,
dryer, heated seat.
Yeah.
Like different
flushes
sprays.
Automatically.
Yeah.
You get up, it just flushes, and then it closes its seat. I'm not even kidding you.
I hope one day I am rich enough that I can own toilets like that in my that's I understand. But like that's such a grown-up
and I can afford it. I'm not gonna lie. Whatever.
I told my wife, like, I was like, I want to be rich enough one day where like towel warmers and fancy toilets are like not even a thing we have to think about. Like, obviously we have.
Hey, will you come over this summer? Because I'll have a pool party.
Have a pool party.
Heated floors.
Jeez.
Every bathroom has a towel warmer, even for the hand towels.
Wow, dude.
Bro, I want to grow up to be like you one day.
Well, because we decided, because we had to redo all the bathrooms. Remember when I was very stressed? We decided because of my wife's disability, some of it is a write-off, because you have to you get a certain amount of write-off. So we got the toilets are like $3,000 each. So I changed 3 toilets in the house. Even my daughter's like, we have another toilet in the basement that's not the fancy one, and we're like, we can't sit in the thing. Like, no one's gonna. I don't know why it's there anymore. No one can use it, because you just be like, I'll go upstairs. Like,
I'll make the trip.
And then the heated floors. Once you get heated floors, how do you go back? Like, you're sitting there on the toilet, and I got an app on my phone, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta take a shower in a minute, so I want the floors to be heated so that when I walk out, the floor is really hot on my feet. And so when you're in the shower, the floor in my shower is heated. Plus, there's a seat, the bench, that's heated as well.
Dude, right? So the way the upperclassmen, you know.
Oh, I was just gonna say this is
we were just talking about people wearing towels as clothes, and now this guy's over here with like the works. This guy's gonna have a heated towel as clothes. Forget a normal towel.
This is a dream.
I'm telling you right now.
Goals. That's goals.
I have a rule. Something you use every day, you spend money on. And so many people, when they go to buy a mattress and all this, they cheap out. And I'm just like, what are you doing, man? You'll spend absorbent amount of money on all these video game consoles that you buy. If you just didn't buy 3 of them, you could have a fancy toilet.
Right.
Yeah, but Court, there's a wants and needs hierarchy.
The toilet is a want for you.
It is. I have a toilet that works.
Nope. You know it. You're gonna come over and you're gonna be like, oh man.
But like the bidet conversation, right? Like the first time someone uses that, you learn some stuff about yourself.
You do.
That you probably didn't know before.
No.
Yeah, because you like it.
Put that pressure up.
You like it. Yeah.
That's the highest it can go.
Absolutely. I want it.
So mine also, it's heated water coming out of the bidet.
Oh boy. I'm gonna go think about my life and the decisions that I made to lead me to this point, and why don't I live like that?
Matt, you could. I told you, don't buy the last 3 consoles.
I know, but you have like 30 years worth more of like insight and wisdom into life than I do.
Totally.
That it's just like I don't have that.
11.
So
years.
I wouldn't even need to bring Vaseline to your house.
No,
I would just need to sit on the toilet.
He probably has a Vaseline jet, bro.
No, but I do have.
This one's lotion. Water, and this one's Vaseline. Hand lotion, warm, warm Vaseline. You probably has Vaseline warmers.
Yeah, absolutely.
That brings us to the end of the show, folks. Thank you for the question, Max. That took us down a wonderful path. I'm gonna just say one quick thing real quick, because I don't want to get into this. I am not going to be posting the question stuff on X anymore. I'm not gonna be posting it where Nazi likes to learn that site. So if you want to ask us questions,
drop them in the YouTube comments. My check mark.
Yeah. Drop them in the YouTube comments. Join us in the Discord. It's in the show notes. Or join us on Bluesky. I'm done.
Mind you, if you guys haven't noticed, I am barely on social media anymore. Like, I don't exist.
Yeah.
Like I go on for the hockey game. Otherwise, I don't care.
Yeah. I like Bluesky where it's at right now. We'll see for how long. But yeah, I'm
the amount of porn people that have been following me on Bluesky, it's gone.
Oh, those are just my alt accounts.
I don't know. I don't like anytime I put something out, I'm just like it's all people being arguing and doing Nazi salutes and saying that it's okay. And I'm like, all right, well, let's just move on.
Twitter, like I'm X, whatever.
They're all bad though.
This was the
TikTok.
I understand, but one, we have definitive to stop that the dude that runs it is a Nazi. So I'm gonna put him over there.
It's no longer blurred lines.
No. Again, I'm just saying if you want to drop questions, do it on YouTube, join us in the Discord, do it on Bluesky. We're not doing it on X no more.
Follow elsewhere.
You know what?
Follow
just do it on Discord.
Yeah, come hang out with this Discord.
Yeah.
Come talk. Jaden was talking cool stuff about some of the stuff that they're working on. Come hang out with us. Court, if people did want to see more of you, where could they do that?
Yeah, you can find me every Wednesday at 8 p.m. except for the next 2 weeks on 3 dads. Well, I'm away on 3 dads in a console. But yeah, come find me in the Discord because yes, I am. If I'm on X, it's literally to talk about the hockey game to get my trade stuff. Otherwise, I really am not on social media anymore because frankly, I think I'm getting too old for it and I just don't care.
Fair. 100%.
Like my phone, you know how it tells you like how long you've been on it?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, you're down 48%.
You're a liar. You're on Pokemon TCG Pocket.
But that's just going on at first thing in the morning, and then once the end of the day.
Good for you, man. That's actually a really good thing.
I deleted TikTok. I deleted a whole bunch of apps. I'm just like done.
As people should. As people should. But what they shouldn't delete is a follow over on Rice's handles. Rice, where can people find you?
You can find me at Linktree/Rice BOYYYTV and
t-shirt, man.
And on weekends I will be on Court's toilet, so you'll find me there.
Dude, can you make me a promise?
Live
for Fan Expo, can we wear the YTV themed Rice t-shirts and we can all wear them?
Yeah, done. I already have a design. I've created.
It's got to be the YTV TV, right? You stole it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
I will wear it and then never take it off again.
I'll wear it. I will advertise for you.
Done. And you could find me over on the did we get your link tree?
Yeah.
Okay. Go check Rice out. You can find me over here on Cults of Creatures. You can find me over at butweiler.net, and you can find me over on Bluesky at Matt Silverskull. We'll be back next week, folks. Thanks for hanging out. We love and appreciate you all so very much. Be safe, be well, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Love you.
You won't see me though.